Good morning, everybody. It's Pete Kima. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Coffee Talk with Kima. It is Friday. It is 8:30. It is time for us to get together. Super excited to be here this morning with you. Um, so I've had several people ask me why we don't do music here at Coffee Talk anymore. And the real reason is because they started blocking me. All right, apparently the bots hear the music, and because I don't pay for that music, they won't allow me to play it anymore. That's why you're not getting intro music from me when I play it like that. So that's why. And if you know a workaround around that on a Facebook Live, let me know. I'm happy to bring music back because we've got a list of songs I wanted to play in honor of many of you. But anyhow, that's why we're not playing music in our intro anymore. Yeah, hope you're doing well. I raise my Kima cup to you. Are you drinking coffee this morning? What kind of coffee do you have? You know, Kima runs on Dunkin', right? Kima runs on Dunkin'. So I'll show my age this morning a little bit. Some of you that are my age or close to it may relate to this, right? So when I was younger, I used to have a good time, right? I used to go out and have a good time. I remember waking up from naps at like 9, 10 o'clock at night to go partying at night in college, those kinds of things, right? Last night was a stark reminder that I'm no longer in college. So last night we hosted a really cool event called Brokers and Brews, and I had 4 beers last night, right? Which, for most people, not a big deal. But I'll tell you what, I had a little struggle this morning just getting up after 4 beers. You don't recover the way you once did, but the fact that you have to recover from 4 beers is kind of embarrassing. Anyhow, so the coffee tastes extra good this morning. I'm excited about it. But what a great time last night. So what is Brokers and Brews? If you are at all, listen, it's open to everybody, but the purpose behind it was to have as many different people there as we could get. Whether it be brokers, lenders, attorneys, builders, inspectors, plumbers, electricians, insurance people, et cetera, right? And here's why. Because we're all in this together. In order to serve the client to the highest level we can, we have to build a family and a network around us. And I'm blessed. I've got the best partners in all of those categories. And many of them we've been partners now for 15 years, right? But I'm so lucky to have these partners because that's how a transaction gets done. There's so many moving parts, but when you build a team, when you have a team around you, right? And every agent that's on here right now and every lender that's on here, right, they understand this, that when you network effectively with good people and those people do their job really well, it makes you look like a star. So a lot of the times I get credit for things that so many other people do, and I'm okay with that, by the way. Coffee in any cup. Oh, I love it. I love it. No decaf. Yeah, that's not coffee, is it, Diana? Anyhow, so last night, Brokers and Brews was fun, right? We had a bunch of different brokers there. We had people from all those different professions. We had commercial builders there last night. It was just a ton of fun. And I want to remind everybody, if you come to that, it is not a networking event in the sense that you bring gifts. Don't worry about bringing gifts. It's not about that, right? And be comfortable that there's going to be other lenders. There's going to be other attorneys there. Right? Because, quite frankly, we can learn from each other. So anyhow, big shout out to all of you that came out to Brokers and Brews. We're going to do it again, and we're going to do it regularly. And this is how we're going to grow our community, right? Because the brand shouldn't matter. Right? And just because I don't work with you as a lender doesn't mean we can't learn from each other. And who knows where our relationship will go. So anyway, Brokers and Brews, big success. I encourage you to come on out. We also do a very similar version of that called Coffee and Collaboration. That one's only for real estate brokers. And we do that once a month as well. If you're interested in that and you're a broker, DM me. Lumps, good morning to you. I know you're drinking your Kima cup, brother. I appreciate you. And as cold as it's been in New England with the snow you guys got, you need a hot cup of coffee in your Kima cup, buddy. That being said, that's a good lead into this. Has spring sprung? Is it really that beautiful outside? It was 82 or 83 degrees here yesterday. Are we breaking records? I saw snow in Southern California, and I saw like 35-degree temperatures in Vegas. What is going on here? We never got a snow this year. For those of you that are out there, Diane Florio, I'm talking to you, posted your post yesterday, you tagged me in. Honestly, we need one good snow. I was killing mosquitoes the other day. It's February. You should not have mosquitoes in February. Anyhow, if you're with me and you're ready for a snow, take a sip of your coffee right now. I'll know you're doing it. But we need one good hard snow here in Raleigh. A, it's good for photos, right? It's great for photos. B, kids are off school, and I like when my kids are home. And C, quite frankly, it'll kill a lot of those mosquitoes. We need some deep freeze temperatures here. Give me 2 weeks deep freeze. Give me 20 degrees every day. a foot and a half of snow, and then after that, bring in the 80s, right? I'm ready for it. But I'm seeing people mowing grass. People are out with their lawn equipment, blowing things off. And man, my own mother was gardening yesterday. I mean, come on, in February. Anyhow, so I am so ready for snow. But I will tell you the one thing, as much as I tell you that I want to have my kids home, I'm really proud of one of my kids that isn't home right now. My buddy Camden, right? I barely know him. And by that, I mean, Camden has raised himself. I'm going to give you two examples real quick. And the second one is hilarious, and it happened yesterday. And it gives you an insight into what happens behind the scenes at the Kima house. And you'll love this. At least I didn't at the time, but it's funny now. So when Camden was really little, Camden had the same teachers Cole had, right? And when Cole went through elementary school, I did really well on all of our projects because I did all of Cole's projects. One of the projects in kindergarten that Mrs. Hunter, and shout out to you, Mrs. Hunter, we love you, gives them is she gives them a big old turkey. And you have to color, you can decorate it, you can staple things to it, you do whatever you want to this turkey, right? So when Cole and I did our turkey, I'm breaking fishing rods, we're putting lures on it, and so he sends him to school. It's best one the class had ever had. Teacher was thrilled, it was wonderful, we got an A+ on it, and I was proud of myself, right, for passing a kindergarten project. Camden came home a few years later. We finished dinner. He's like, hey, I got to do my turkey. And so Jen and I are cleaning up from dinner. Actually, Jen's cleaning up from dinner. And we look on the floor, and Camden's on the floor with a bag of crayons, and he's coloring this turkey. We're like, Cam, stop. Let's do this together. He goes, I don't think I'm supposed to do this with you, Dad. I'm supposed to do this myself. And I looked at Jen, and I said, oh. It's from that point on, I recognized that I would be hands off because that kid just going to do it himself. Here's the example I wanted to give you. So yesterday morning, I get up, right? I wake up, and Camden comes downstairs, and he's in a suit. And, Franklin Academy, you got to wear a collared shirt and khakis, but he's in a suit. And I'm like, Cam, we have an away game today? Like, baseball season hasn't starts Tuesday, by the way, which I'm pumped about. But Cam, do we have an away game today? Like, why are you in a suit? So my mind goes to sports right away, right? He goes, no, Dad, I'm part of DECA, which is like a business club, like a club where they debate and do things like that. And I said, okay. And he said, I'm going out of town for 3 days. I said, you are? So Camden, the night before, apparently it told us, Jen kind of handles that side of things, and I'm throwing her under the bus squarely right now. Because I handle practices and games, she handles the academic side. And for those of you who went to school with me, you know that that's probably a smart thing. But the kid had dressed himself, which, not shouldn't say that was a big deal, but he had packed for 3 days. He had all this paperwork done. He had taken care of the stuff with the doctor, all the stuff that you have to do to go out of town. He had it all done. And we didn't even know he was leaving town. He's our 15-year-old living in my house, and we had no idea. So shout out to Camden Kima for being just so resourceful and self-reliant. And I can't wait to find out how you raised yourself and what kind of person you're going to turn out to be. Because, again, no idea that he was going out of town for 3 days. So anyhow, he called me yesterday, said he's having a great time. I asked him, are there any cute girls? He said one. And I said, keep out of trouble, buddy. Keep out of trouble. Anyhow. So his first game is Tuesday. Super excited about that. Anybody wants to come with me, I'm going to go watch him play. Franklin Academy plays home games at Flaherty Park here in Wake Forest. So we've got a past client event. If you are a past client of ours, and there's so many of you that are on here that are, if you're a past client of ours, on April 1st, we are offering a free family photo day for you. How do you find out about it? Join our private Facebook group just for our past clients who don't know how to do that. DM anybody on the team. Will get you in the group right away. You should have received an email already. A text message is coming out early next week. But we've got an event where you bring your family. We've got a park. We've got a professional photographer. We've got the Easter Bunny's going to be there. We've got all sorts of fun things happening. But as our gift to you, we want you to come out and get a free family photo for the spring. And so if you don't know about this just yet, feel free to DM me or anybody on the team, and we'll get you in. We'll get you in. So with baseball season getting ready to start, I got to ask you, where's the best stadium food in the country? Where have you been where the food that's where you go to get food? For me, as much as I can't stand the Boston Red Sox, having grown up there, man, there's one peanut vendor my dad and I would hit up with a guy named Craig Rice every time we'd go to the game. And this one peanut vendor would always have and he'd be looking for us. And so we'd get peanuts from him, and they just tasted extra special because the old man that was selling them to us was extra special. But there's nothing better than an Italian sausage dog in Fenway. I know a lot of people love Fenway Franks and things of that nature, but nothing better. But I will tell you, Boog Powell Barbecue in the outfield in Baltimore, pretty good. But tell me, where's the best place to get stadium food in your mind? In your mind, where's the best place? So I want to tell you another quick story, an impersonation story, right? So over my shoulder, I don't know if I can do this right, but that baseball picture right up there, that's my favorite baseball team I ever coached. Love that team. I love those kids to this day. I follow those kids everywhere they go. Love that group of kids. We were having a family party one night at one of the kids' parents' house, and little Jackson Zirulnik, and I say little, he's no longer little. He's taller than I am. He can hit a baseball a country mile. Little Jackson Zirulnik was really nervous, and he said, Mom, Dad, they're like trying to encourage him to do this impersonation of me, Coach Kima, and which probably isn't a good thing, quite frankly. And they finally gave him permission to say the words that Coach Kima said, and he did his impersonation, and I won't try to recreate it here because it's very, very off-color and should not ever be said to 10 and 11-year-old kids. But we had such a good time with that team, especially that one year. And so he did his impersonation of me. And it got me to thinking about the fact about how much I love these kids and how hard I was on these kids and just how much I value the relationship today that when I see them. So as baseball season is getting ready to start, I shout out to every one of those ball players that are still playing ball up there, whether it be baseball or lacrosse or football, whatever those things are. A shout out to every one of those kids and their families. I love you and I miss every one of you. It's something that's really special to me. So anyhow, The last thing I want to talk about is, I mentioned it in the description here. I failed this week. Actually, I failed over the period of time. I failed a lot in life, but I failed this week, and I own that, right? My team failed this week, but when the team fails, it's me failing, right? I have, you've heard about like college basketball, loss of institutional control, things of that nature, right? So at the end of the day, somebody's got to be held accountable, and that's me. So we had a client fire us. That has not happened very often in my career. But we had a client fire us for underperforming. Now, were there things that I think that client could have done differently, better, what have you? Yeah, sure, of course. And I can point fingers this way, right? Oops, this way. But the reality of it is I've got two thumbs, and those two thumbs point right here first, right? It's something we try to teach our kids. It's something I want to encourage society just in general. It's something we don't do well enough. Yes, other people make mistakes, no doubt about it. But what mistakes did we make along the way, right? That's the question that needs to be asked. We're asking the wrong question. Why didn't it sell is not the question. What mistakes did we make along the way is truly the question. And so yesterday I had to eat a little bit. I had to eat a little bit of crow. I know I did not give my 110% best effort throughout the entire process of trying to sell this one home. I know that. We did a good enough job. We sure did. But it's funny where the mistakes were made along the way. Some of them were structural mistakes, meaning the way we do business. Another part of that was me not standing up strong enough with an opinion early enough in the process, right? I think when people hire you to sell your house, they want somebody that's in control. They want somebody that knows the market and knows how to get them from A to B. And one of the hardest things to do is to have those difficult conversations up front. So while I failed yesterday, what I want to encourage each and every one of you, because I know a lot of kids watch this, what I want to encourage you to do is when you fail, take those two thumbs, point them at yourself first, and think, what can we do to get better, and then get better. Anyhow, I thank that person for firing us as much as I would love to sell the house. If we didn't get fired and we just sold the house, we wouldn't have learned from the experience. We would have just earned the money. And sometimes the pay isn't the actual cash, although the cash is nice, right? That's how we pay our bills. Sometimes the pay isn't that. Sometimes the pay is doing the job better so that we can serve our other clients better. And so we did that yesterday. We got better. Anyhow, listen, hope you have a great week this week. I know that's a little bit different than we normally do, but I'm really grateful for you. If nobody has told you yet today, and I mean this sincerely, if nobody has told you this yet today, I love you and you matter. But last thing I'm going to leave you with. This afternoon at my house, the Wake Forest Mafia is having one of its 3 or 4 times a year meetings, meaning that the three of us are going to get together and smoke a cigar. If you ever want to get together, if you're around this weekend, you want a campfire, you want to smoke a cigar, you want to get to, you need somebody in your life, call me. Let's do that. I'd love to get together with you. Anyhow, have a great week, and I will see you in one.